Hi everyone, welcome to Glitter for the Crochet, my brand new YouTube channel. If you are new here, as am I, then you should know that I created this channel because I have started being compulsively obsessed with crocheting. And I am the kind of creative person that when I get obsessed with something, I have to do everything in it. I have decided that it is time for me, after having crocheted for a while and created all of these different things that I absolutely love by other designers, that it's time for me to venture out and attempt to create my own little designs. And so this is kind of the channel that I'm going to be exploring that on. I'm going to take you along as I kind of bumble my way through becoming an amigurumi designer. I'm going to talk to you about my design process, mistakes that I make. I'm also going to talk to you about all the things that I'm crocheting, different new patterns that I'm trying for other designers. New tools that I am trying out. I'm going to do hauls. I'm pretty much going to do anything that's fiber arts and yarn related on here because I am that obsessed with it. And like I said, I go all in. My husband does not enjoy that because that means that my bank account goes all in as well. But what can we do? So as a little kind of preface here, I work from home. I am also an author. I'm an author and a book coach and a cover designer. So I do a whole bunch of other stuff. If you do like author and book related content, I do have another channel. I'll link it in the description so that you can go check it out if you feel like it. But I work from home, and by from home, I mean I work from our bedroom. This is where this is. I have a little nook in the bedroom where I can film, and over yonder, over here, is my chaotic desk setup where I kind of like write, and I write my patterns for crochets, but I also like write my books and coach clients and all of that. So this whole section, there's like a wall in our bedroom that I have commandeered and taken over like a little gremlin under a troll, and a troll under a bridge or whatever. Answer me these riddles 3. Anyways, so yeah, this is my section. So I don't have a yarn room. A lot of times I watch a lot of these crochet videos and other really cool designers and crochet YouTubers out there because, again, obsessed. And they have all these cool rooms. They have giant walls of this like rainbow yarn. I don't have that. So I'm sorry. You get this. I did spiffy it up. I made it yarn related. And I have some of my designs and I'll kind of show them today. But I have some of my designs here, and hopefully by the end of the next couple of months, this whole shelf will be full because I'm releasing 5 new designs for a line of cool animals that I'll talk about as well. But I added this with all my beautiful Baroque vintage on here. There's more. I do have a ton of yarn. The only thing is that I keep it in our laundry room. There's like a bunch of storage in our laundry room, and that's where I keep my yarn. I have like a yarn wall there. I have like shelves with stuff, but the lighting is quite garbage. And it makes me look like a little zombie. Even my 3-year-old tells me I look like a zombie when I'm in that room. Although that might have to do with the fact that I have a 3-year-old, and so I'm always kind of tired. But I might do like a video in there just to kind of show you like all my supplies and stuff that I have and how I organize it. But it's going to be depressing, right? Because it's not cool. And here we have nice lighting and this cool chair that I have and this plant for oxygen to wake me up because, again, toddler mom, I am tired. So that's kind of like an introduction to me. Yeah, very weird. Oh, and you should know I'm a weirdo. I'm odd. I say odd things. So if that's like kind of your jam, then welcome. You found your people. I will make like weird jokes sometimes. I laugh at my own jokes. I think I'm funny. Most people don't. But that's what we're going to do here. So I thought for the first video for this channel, wouldn't it be fun if I kind of showed you what I'm working on for this month, like kind of what my ongoing whips are and what I've got going on. I won't go into the designs in detail because I do plan to do a video next week where I talk about my design process and how I work and then show you my notes and kind of my step-by-step of what I do. But I thought that we could talk about like a little bit about these because they're hella cute, but also like all my other whips. There's a few of them. And I thought we could chat about that for the first video. I thought it would be like a chatty first video where we get to know each other, and that would be super fun. So to start, my first, what have I been doing? A lot of. Other than the designs, I will save those for last because I'm lazy and I don't want to like reach right now. But I've been doing all of these. So you can see in my hair, let me just, these scrunchies, I have gotten really into them. It's weird. We have a lot of scrunchies now. My husband does have a man bun. I will give him that. He does not wear scrunchies in them. I am the only person that wears scrunchies in the house. My daughter her hair is beautiful, but it's toddler hair. So like if I put a scrunchie in her hair, it will just slide right off and then she'll scream. So she doesn't do scrunchies. So I'm the only one that does scrunchies. Which is why it's baffling that we now have like 30 in the house. And that's not even counting the scrunchies I had before that I didn't make. But I've gone really into these. So these I've used for these ones. I'm trying to think. I think I used all acrylic yarn for these. I think a wool would be kind of cool too for like winter. I live in Toronto, by the way, so it's like snowy outside and wintry right now. But I did use like an acrylic yarn for these. I used a mixture of different yarns. I have tried to use a chenille yarn for this, and I've tried to use a blanket yarn for these, and they came out so huge. They're a scrunchie for a giant, really. I showed it to my husband, and he said it looked like I put a pillow on my head, and it did. It was not. I don't have enough hair, or head, but it was huge, and so we are sticking with acrylic. This is a worsted weight acrylic yarn, and I am quite liking it. It is, I'm trying to remember what the brand of the yarn I used. It's something from Michael's. Drawing a blank. Impeccable. There we go. It's the Loops and Threads Impeccable yarn. And I just used them for these. And it worked out really, really well. I have also, actually, no, I lied. Oh my God, I am a liar. This one is a Woolies. This is the number 4 Woolies. But the other ones that I made, so I did make some wool ones. Or wool blend. But the other ones I made were all like with impeccable yarn, and it's really nice. I do really want to make a chenille one. So I'm thinking of getting like a thinner chenille. And I think the problem is with these, because they are, the pattern that I am using is, and I'll link the video tutorial of the pattern that I'm using by another creator. It's a wonderful pattern, but it's definitely for like a worsted weight yarn. And the chenilles that I have are all kind of more blanket weight, and thus the giant one that got created. But it is what it is. So I think I want to get some thinner chenille and see. So I am in Canada. We don't have a joint. Well, I guess terrible news, but most people might not have a joint soon. But we don't have like the same yarn availability around here. It's very hard to find certain yarn around here. Even the yarn that I use Shibiri's Katona for my amigurumis, and it's very hard to find a local supplier. I have to drive like an hour and a half out of town to get it, or order it online. So we're kind of out of luck. Like all of our yarn shops here are more geared towards wearables and stuff like that. And so it's hard to find like a specific kind of yarn for specific types of projects. So we have a Michael's, and I shop there a lot for some of these like whips that I'm going to show you. So, and a Walmart, obviously. But again, lame selections. So that's kind of like the first thing that I've been really working. And if in case you're wondering, I have my basket for whips here in front of me, and that's what I'm going through. So the other thing that I'm making my way through, and this is like, there's like a few granny square projects in here. Because I love me some granny squares, but I got the Granny Square card deck. So this is the real one, in case, I know there's like drama about this, but this does have, the lighting is just terrible right now. I have a ring light to make me look more alive. But it does have the proper code on it and whatever. This is not the ripoff one. I picked this up at Indigo. This is the real thing. And I wanted to do this. So I picked up yarn in the Impeccable, and I picked it up in the colors that match this almost exactly, because we don't, again, in Canada, we don't have the yarn that's specified I would have to order it online. And I figured, Impeccable is great. And I want to make these and make a giant blanket for my daughter, for her room. So I thought, what a fun little project to have. And you know what else is really fun? That there are 13 different colors of yarn. If you want to follow this deck, exactly, I'll link the deck below. But if you follow this deck, exactly, there are 13 colors of yarn that you have to use. So that's been real fun to buy 13 different skeins of yarn and to store them somewhere in my limited laundry room situation. And so far I have only made 3. Because my bark is bigger than my bite. But I'm not shuffling them. I'm not picking out which ones I want. I am going in order. In the order the cards are laying there, that is what I'm doing. I am very, very detail oriented. I like instruction. And so I am going in the order that the card deck came in. And don't come at me because that's what I'm doing. So the first one that it said to do was this multicolored one. And so I made that. And look how cute that is. Very pretty. Look at the colors. Love, 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 love. Then we had one that was just all one color. So I did that. Same colors that the deck is using. And then we are getting into the fun stuff. So we've got this, the rose here, which is really nice. And can I just really quick show you? I don't know what happened to me. I used the same hook, same yarn. Clearly, I have 13 skeins of it. Why the size change? Why is there a size difference? And the reason is, I think, here's what you need to know about me, is I crochet usually in the evening. And the other thing that I usually do in the evening is I have some wine. And so I think wine happened here. I think I may have had a couple of glasses and maybe loosened up my tension, or I don't know what happened. Something happened. There is clearly an extra row here somehow, or maybe the pattern calls for it, but I think this is made so that you could literally sew them together at the end. And these babies are not happening, right? So I need to look into it because something's going on. But that's the first work in progress. And then since we're talking about granny squares, my next work in progress are all of these. So I have a whole bunch of Loops and Threads Charisma, and I was going to make a multicolored basket situation for us. And instead I bought baskets because I got lazy and I just started working on other stuff. And so I figured I have so much of it, I need to do something with it. And since I got the baskets to kind of match the colors of as you can see, our house or our condo, we have a 2-story condo, and both floors, for some reason, when we got in here, we're all painted in this kind of turquoise blue, which I have learned to really love. It's not my favorite color for the house, but so I got colors to match. And so I figured we have a raggedy old blanket that we use downstairs that literally is it's more air than blanket at this point. It is so thin. It flutters on top of you. When you put it down, it doesn't just it doesn't fall on you. It sways on you like it is in a Disney movie, And so we need a new blanket. And so I figured, why don't I, because I have all this Charisma, and Charisma is great for a thicker blanket. It's an acrylic, but it washes well. It's light. It has the same kind of almost like a wool type property, but it is very light. So when you put it on you, you will not suffocate from the weight of the wool blanket. And I love that. And so I've been making these flower patterns again. So this flower pattern is a YouTube tutorial. I will try to find it and link it again below in the description. But it is a YouTube tutorial for a flower kind of daisy granny square. If I can't find this exact one, I don't see why I wouldn't. I would be able to. But I've written it out for myself in some notes so that I don't have to keep watching it. But it's a daisy granny square, and it's great. And so I've been sitting down and doing those, and those have been working out really well. I have a whole basket of these already. Unfortunately, I will need approximately 10 million of these baskets to make a blanket size for our couch and make it big enough for 2 adults and a child to sit under. So I will need 80 of these granny squares. This is going to be an ongoing project, an ongoing whip, and I'm loving it. I'm really, really loving it. So the next thing that I started, and I don't know if this, and I have it in a bag, I don't think that this whip is going to survive past its infancy stage, because my father, since I started crocheting, my father has been nagging me to make him some socks. Now, I don't it sounded boring to me to crochet socks. Until I saw a crochet video for crochet socks, and then I bought some patterns and I was really excited. And I bought a pattern, and this pattern, and tell me if it's just me, this pattern was 47 pages. 47 page PDF pattern for a sock. I was so turned off by this. It was so wordy. Every instruction, like it wouldn't just be, this instruction wouldn't say like crochet this many stitches and then do this and then do this, whatever. It would be like a 2-paragraph epic fantasy novel. Like I felt like I was reading like Lord of the Rings. And then it would just say crochet as many stitches as needed until the next, like it wouldn't just, it for some reason, I don't know why it was written so wordy, but this is as far as I got, and I couldn't do it. So then I started following a YouTube tutorial, and I have this kind of sock, and I used, and this is a mistake on my part, but I used Crochet Socks, which are a workhorse sock yarn, right? Like they're great. They're available in Michael's. I've got like my crochet hook in this bag ready to go with it. Like, and it's a good sock yarn. However, they're very thick, very heavy, very woolly feeling. And I'm sure after I block them and wool wash them, they'll be great. But the other thing that I noticed, so I was following a pattern, and I was following a pattern for a sock size that was bigger than my foot. I have tiny little, like I'm 5'1". I am like legally, I'm not even an adult sized human. So I have very small feet. And so I was following a pattern for a sock size that was like a sock size larger than mine. And this was still so tight on my foot. And I don't know what it was. I don't know if it's like the hook and the crochet sock combination of the yarn. I don't know what it was, but it was very snug, and I knew I could stretch it out. And for some reason, the terrible experience with the original pattern I used, not this one. This one was great. It was from a YouTube tutorial. It was wonderful. So it was, again, link below. It wasn't the pattern this time. It was very much me. I think I was just so turned off by the idea of crocheting a sock that I put it in this bag, and I have sealed it, and I have suffocated it, and I have committed yarn murder. But that's what I did. And so it's been lying here in this basket for a while. And so the plan is, this is probably a foolish plan, but I'm going to knit some socks. I have never knitted before in my life. So why I'm saying this is that we're going to have a knitting adventure in one of these videos where I attempt to learn how to knit. My goal for the month of March is to learn how to knit so I can knit my dad, my poor father, who wants these socks. I will knit him socks for his birthday in April. And that is my goal. So stay tuned for that, because that's going to be interesting, because I have attempted to knit before. Not well, just like kind of like messed around with it. And I don't think I'm nimble enough for knitting, but we'll see. Maybe I'll learn for my father, you know? So that's a work in progress. It just sits there. The next thing that I am working on, and this one I'm actually very, very excited, because I'm going to be done with this one next week, I think. So my daughter's birthday is also coming up in April. Her and my dad basically almost share a birthday. Everybody has a birthday in April. And I saw this Karen Colorama Halo, and it's a great yarn. It's a wonderful yarn. It's one of those perfect phase yarns where like the transition is very smooth and seamless. And I really love this, and it's because I've been using it. It's hard to kind of see, but the rose garden color was my spirit animal. I love pastels. And then, like, if you don't know, I illustrated before. So the shop I'm actually turning into my pattern shop used to be my illustration shop. I didn't want to go through the hassle of like Etsy and opening a new shop, and a lot of times they'll like block it and you have to appeal. It's a whole thing when you set up a new shop. They make it impossible, which is weird because like half the people on there are selling stuff from AliExpress. So I don't know. But I didn't want to go through that again, so I just kind of like rebranded, moved everything out of inventory that was there before, which was just my illustrations and cards and stickers. And I'm starting my crochet pattern digital business there. And so that was all pastel. It was pastel goth, so it was kind of spooky, like witchy stuff, but pastel cuteness that I drew. And this color was so on brand with that, and on brand with me, because like you can't see here, but everything is kind of in that colorway. in my office, and I saw this yarn and I really wanted to make some kind of wearable from it. And I saw another wonderful creator on here on YouTube. Names just escape me, and so I will link everything in the description. But I saw her make the Hexagon cardigan with this, and it looked so wonderful. But then I figured my daughter's birthday is coming up, so I wanted to make some kind of matching sweaters for us that we could wear on her birthday. She's 3, and so she wants to be just like mom. And so I figured that we could be matchies. And I was like, oh my God, this rainbow beautiful color is perfect for us. It's got like a little bit of fuzz. It'll be great. The fuzz doesn't come off, by the way. It's wonderful yarn. And so somehow, like, first of all, I didn't want the pattern to be like overly like complicated, because like I don't have too much time, and we're running out of time, and I kind of wanted, and I have to learn to knit. So I figured that I found a cool pattern that was essentially like two big granny squares that you kind of put together, and then you add sleeves and you lengthen it to make it what you want. And I'm like, great, I can make that, because she's tiny, right? So how long can hers take? And me, I am, not tiny, but like maybe height-wise, but like width-wise, I'm a regular human that way. And so mine will take a bit longer. So I figured I'll start with mine and go from it. And the thing I didn't account for, and I will show you what I have so far in a second. I know this is like a long way, because I want to preface this. So I didn't account for, and this is all on me. This is not on the pattern at all. The pattern is great. I didn't think that, because this is like a perfect phasing, and because of the way, like you can see, there's like a lot of one color and then a little bit of the phasing, and a lot of like the pink was in between. I've already used it for the other one I'll show you, because I started one from outside, one from inside. And it's not like in my head. I don't know why I pictured this. Again, this is on me. I don't know why I pictured that it would be like this cool, like ombre all around, when it's literally a granny square. You're going around and around and around and around. So obviously the phasing would not start until the edges. And then what you would have is just a giant square of basically almost all one color, which is not what I want. But I was already so deep. And so I will show you how deep I got. And so the first one that I made was this one. And I mean, you can see the pattern is really, really, really nice, right? So you've got like, it's a beautiful pattern. It's gorgeous. And I love it. And I don't know what about this made me think, like I think maybe I thought that you would do the triangles like on their own and then kind of like stitch them together. I don't know why I thought that would be so foolish. Again, I was whining. I probably had like 2-3 glasses of wine at this point, and started to work on the pattern and bought the pattern or something. So I blame wine. I blame the wine. It's I blame the French wine. But it's a beautiful pattern. But you can see how the ombre only started just on the edges, right? And so I showed this to my husband, and I'm like, what do you think? And he said, well, it's great. Why wouldn't you want to accentuate the biggest part of you on your body? And I was like, great. Okay. Wonderful. But yeah, so I totally agree though. This is like a giant square right in the center of your body. And so I was like, how can I make this more interesting? And so my thought was, what if we do this? So this would be the front. So this is the first front section. And the ombre is around the edges. And then I start the back section in the center pole with the pink and the ombre around the edges into the blue. And then for the sleeves, I would do the sleeves. So I want like a little short sleeve. Like I want this to be like an oversized like pullover sweater for both of us. And so the sleeves I would do on this side in the pink and on the back side in the blue. And then the bottom lengthening part also pink on this side, like the bright pink from the center pole and blue on the other. And so I had to go out and buy more yarn, naturally, to make that happen. And then for my daughters, I don't think, because she's tiny, so hers won't be ombre at all, but it will just be these colors. So it's not exactly what I wanted. So here's the pink. Like this is what I have on the pink so far. I made stitch markers. They're so cute. It's cats and bottles. But the pink is like a cooler looking ombre. But the thing that is cool about these sweaters that I think will be very, very interesting is that you could because of how it's made, you can literally wear them whichever side you want to face out. So it's a quick switch around, which would be fun. And I think she'd get a kick of it because it's like a two-tone sweater. So I think if I make it more geometric and less like ombre feeling, it would be pretty nice. But that's kind of the two that I have together. So you can see it's a really interesting, cool looking effect, but not exactly what I wanted. But you know, we're gonna make it work because I do really love this yarn. And I will say that if you're looking to work with this yarn, this is the nicest, softest, easiest yarn that I have. Like the Barocco Vintage, I love to work with, but for some reason, I think it's the furries on these, I love this yarn. Like, good job, like Karen, you did it. Like, it's great. So now I think we can. Those are kind of like the main ones. But now we can talk about a little bit very quickly, because I don't want this to be like the longest first video ever, but we can talk about like these little guys, and I can probably pull them down. And so let me tell you very quickly, for my first line, so this is like my beginning as a designer, and I wanted to design these animals, and so I'm a writer. And I am currently on query with a gothic romantasy that's like a mystery. So basically, it's like Sherlock Holmes, but with romance, and it's gothic. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but I'm querying that right now. And so I'm in that like Victorian dressing kind of set mood right now in my head. And I really wanted to create like a bunch of like animals dressed in like Victorian inspired attire. And the first thing that came to mind to me was an alligator with a top hat and a monocle and like a big collar. That came to my head. And from there, we kind of grew it into like a whole, like a cast of 5 creatures to start. Because I might want to do like a crochet of outfits with animals through the ages. So I'm thinking like the 70s, the 80s. My husband suggested doing one that's like set in the future. So like more futuristic outfits. And that would be really cool. Just in general as like a thing for the shop to get us up and running on patterns. But for now, I only have 5 to start, just to kind of like really launch the shop. And I will be having tester calls. So make sure you follow me on Instagram, because I'm going to be doing a tester call in next week, actually. So this week after this video first lands, there's going to be a tester call for the first of the animals. And there's going to be another one in a couple weeks after that, because I am getting them tech edited and stuff. And it takes me a while to do several iterations until I get to where I want, which we'll talk about next week in my pattern design video that I'll do. But so I got these 2. So this one is still in the tester mode. I am currently working my way through the final of this one and taking pictures and doing all of that. But this is Archibald, the alligator, and you get the first kind of sneak peek of him fully. But this is Archibald, so I wanted to focus, there we go, on him and not on me. Look at his little beans. Look at his little toe beans. So he's got his top hat with his lotus flower, because he's an alligator. He's got like a monocle. He's got this like frilly collar all around him. He's a dapper individual. And he is quite small. So that's his tail. He's very small, but that's kind of what I've been working on, is him. He was my first one that I was working on, and that's Archibald, Archie, the alligator. I have backstories for all of these because, again, I write, and so like I was very excited to do backstories for these guys. So he was the first one that came to my head, and so obviously he had to be the first one. These goofy little eyeballs, I love him. So that's going to be the first one, the first pattern that kind of gets a tester call. So that's Archibald. So I've been working on him. And I'm currently, the whip. So he's done. He's been tech edited, and I'm about to do a tester call for him. But my current, whip that I am perfecting. So this is like very rough. Obviously it's like first iteration. This is Brienne the bunny, and Brienne the bunny is a Victorian ballerina. And so she loves to dance, thus her long bunny legs. So this one looks like more like a rat. So the actual final one, is rounder. She's chubbier. She's got chubbier, like little cheeks. And also her dress is not so scandalous, and it like fits a lot better. But this is Brienne, and let's see. So this is a this is a working model. So that's why it's like not perfected at all. And you can see like there's like threads and all this stuff. But usually what I do with these, the working ones, is when I'm done, I'll take some pictures of befores and afters to show for like social media and stuff, because I have a brand new account there and I want to like populate it with cool images. But then I'll give it to my daughter, and she loves these. And then we have matchies, because I have these nice ones on display and she has those. And that's pretty much what I have been working on. So those are all my works in progress right now. Those are the whips. And That's essentially who I am as a crocheter. I will do probably like a lineup of everything I crocheted this year so far. I'll do a video like that. We'll definitely do a design video next week. And I'm going to start coming up with like different ideas. But also, if you're watching this and you are subscribed, love it. If you subscribe, that'll be like mean the world to me. If you don't think I'm too like of much of an oddball to follow. I understand if you do. I am a lot. But we might do like crochet wine nights. I don't know. We'll do a whole bunch of stuff. So tell me what you prefer to do. Let me know what you enjoy in the comments. And I'm going to start yapping for now. I'm going to leave you with that. Happy crocheting, everybody. And I will see you next week for our second video of the channel. Yes. Bye.